What is going on, mi gente? Welcome back to Binging Dragons. And I just wanted to make this short intro to let you guys know that this is a live episode that we did a few days ago, but I'm just now posting it. It is going to be about mainly episode one of House of the Dragon season two. Yes, just wanting to let you guys know before the episode starts, uh, just not to confuse people up. Don't forget to follow the channel Binging Dragons here on YouTube and, of course, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, only audio version though. Thank you to everyone that has been sharing the podcast, watching the episodes, joining for the live episodes. This is going to be happening more and more because it's just too damn good, really, to be able to interact with people live and showcase the comments and questions and whatnot. But yes, I just wanted to do this short video to, yeah, get you guys to the live video. Anyways, I don't want to keep you guys. Again, don't forget to follow Binging Dragons on Instagram, TikTok mainly, and me, CrossRodz as well. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, X, however you call it. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Enjoy the episode. What is going on, mi gente? Welcome back to another magnanimous episode. In this case, it's a magnanimous live episode. My name is Rubén, aka CrossRodz, and I'm here today with the awesome.
Mark from the channel House of Nettles.
That's right. And we are going to be right now we're live. Actually, this is the first live episode. Me having a guest. I've gone live a few times and whatnot, but I am really looking forward to this because this is all new. We are going to react to live messages that people drop on YouTube and we can post them here and just talk about it and whatnot. But we are going to be talking about episode one of season two of House of the Dragon, a son for a son. Uh, a wild episode for sure. And we are gonna get into. Okay, before I get into the things that we're gonna talk about, I am not. We This is not gonna be like a scene by scene episode. This is just pure. Uh, Let me see, like a let it go episode. We have thoughts. We are just gonna throw them out there because we are still trying to put everything together of what we saw. Mark, have you rewatched the episode since yesterday or no?
I have not rewatched the episode. I watched it and then I watched probably a fast forward version of it as I was making all that cool content over at House of Nettles for
Right.
for the show. But I haven't just sat down and rewatched it. And funny enough, my mom is a fan of House of Dragon. She rewatched it last night. She watched it, took like a 30-minute nap, and then watched it again. So
That's commitment right there. That is freaking commitment. Not even me who I create content and all of that. I haven't been able to rewatch it. Um, so yeah, with that being said, the reason I'm bringing that up is because there might be things we forget about. And again, this is not going to be a scene by scene episode or a podcast episode because it's not. Again, it's just going to be our overall thoughts, favorite moments, what we like, dislike, and we'll just go from there. People, don't forget to follow before we get into all of this. Don't forget to follow Binging Dragons for more of just podcast episodes. This technically
yeah.
this is episode 11, but I sort of want to make things like kind of separate in terms of the live episodes, but we'll see how it goes. Um, but yeah, follow Binging Dragons on everywhere, almost on social media. And hey, what's up, Jenny K? Welcome to Binging Dragons.
Hey,
And you can also, of course, subscribe to the channel here on YouTube. And for my friend over here, Mark, I'll let him just do his pitch.
Subscribe, follow me. I'm on YouTube at House of Nettles. I'm on TikTok at House of Nettles. I'm on Instagram, House of Nettles. Spelled slightly different, but if you type it in, you'll see my profile pic. You'll know which one to follow.
Exactly. Um, Chat and everyone that's joining, just as a reminder, the giveaway for this book, The Rise of the Dragon, is happening. It's just, I'm trying. It turns out, Mark, it turns out doing giveaways, it's not as easy as it looks. Um, because there's even like rules to it and whatnot for us content creators. Even the law can be involved.
Oh.
So yes, I'm like now a little bit scared, but I will be doing it. The Rise of the Dragon book that I have two copies actually, and this giveaway will happen. So keep an eye out for Instagram because I will be doing that giveaway on Instagram. With that being said, Mark, do you have anything else before we get into the episode?
Is it cheating if I enter the giveaway? That might break some rules. That might
Uh,
break some rules. I was
uh,
not this one.
we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it after the episode. We'll talk about it.
Oh,
We'll talk about it after the episode.
okay.
um, Yeah, I know you and me are a little bit sad because we did not win the sword from Westerosis on Twitter, either Blackfire or Dark Sister. It was some other account. And I was like, oh shoot, I really wanted that.
I was trying to look. I'm like, well, who won it? Because I definitely don't got a DM. I'm like, how the heck did I didn't win it? I had a spot for it and all. Like, just in case I do win it, I know where I'm going to put it. But man, we know we did. You know we
Yeah. They announced it yesterday, but
did.
anyways. Yeah, man, we are back in Westeros. How does it feel, man? How does it freaking feel?
I was happy to see some familiar places, especially when we got that scene of Winterfell. I thought,
Oh
I'm
my
like,
god.
yeah, we're back. Now, it definitely looked different. The topography of the land seemed like it changed. And I was like, all right, a little different, but I was happy to see it.
I was happy to see it as well. What would be your overall thoughts of season one, or not season one, episode one of this season, A Son for a Son? If you want, you started off with Winterfell. I'm sure. Spoiler alert: I will start with Winterfell as well because damn it, that was such a good intro. But yeah, overall thoughts of this episode.
I think they did a great job of reestablishing us with everything that went on from last season. It felt like a natural continuation, but they still did enough so we could. If you, it's been 2 years. If you don't remember every single detail that happened, I don't blame you. I love talking about it. I don't remember every single detail, but they did enough just to reintroduce us into the world, and I really enjoyed
Yeah, sort of piggybacking from that, uh, one of my favorite things in season one was that I love the fact that they were making the universe, the world building was actually really good, even though it was just like constraint. Is that a word I can put here? No, or just set only in pretty much King's Landing and Dragonstone, but we did get to see all these new areas that we had never seen in Game of Thrones. And then the episode dropped yesterday, last night, and they gave us even more details from Winterfell to Dragonstone, King's Landing, even around the area of the Stormlands with Shipbreakers Bay. And but the two that really just blew my mind was obviously Winterfell because as yourself, I love my Northerners because I know
it.
you're a Jon Snow defender.
Oh yeah.
Um, and Yeah, I just loved being back in Winterfell in the north, even though it wasn't too long. I was hoping to at least get Jace landing at Winterfell and meeting up that first interaction with Krigan, but I feel like it was still great. And then the reason I mentioned Dragonstone is because we got to see a little bit more of that incredible castle, which I would definitely live there before I live in King's Landing. um,
Yeah, it definitely
And
feels better than Kingslayer.
well, and really one of the things I absolutely loved about Dragonstone, and we sort of saw it, we kind of saw it in the trailer first, is how the whole system, or yeah, you can say the system of how the dragon riders get on top of the dragons. It's sort of this dragon dock, and seeing Maylee's arrive at Dragonmont was, man, it was incredible. And the way she just parked herself right there.
Yeah, that
But
was
yeah,
definitely
I just
cool.
love the.
Yeah,
Go
I
ahead,
was gonna
sir.
say, yeah, that was definitely cool because it really made you like really understand like that castle was built for dragons. When they designed it, it was for a fleet of dragons to come in there and be able to be held there for whatever purpose they wanted to serve the family.
True. And dude, now that I think about it, again, I haven't rewatched the episode, but I remember that part when Maylee's kind of walks in, um, with Rainey's and whatnot. That place looks enormous. Looks magnanimous. Magnanimous.
I mean, I was like,
um,
how big is this island now? How long did it take to build this castle? How big was Valeria at that point?
I know, dude. Like literally, we left. We're
Oh
back.
yeah,
We're
that was
back.
weird. You look.
It said,
We're back.
I don't know what happened. It's I don't know. It said Mark joined. I was like, dude, you're here already. Anyways, it's some little voice from the whatever. I'm sounding creepy now. I swear there was a voice. I'm just not hearing voices, man.
See, you sound like Helena. Are you having dreams? Are you
I
seeing
might be a
things?
dreamer. I might be a dreamer,
I
actually.
mean,
I might be a
if you
dreamer.
seeing any cheese or anything, please tell me. Don't wait. Don't wait to
Oh,
tell me.
I will tell you. I will tell you for sure. Um, but yeah, I thought this episode was such a good way to bring us back into the world of House of the Dragon. It definitely leaves me wanting a House of the Direwolf TV show or something, man. Because being up in the north at the wall was was just incredible. I can't stop thinking about that moment with Cregan Stark over there. So
Yeah,
yeah, uh,
yeah,
you're gonna say
yeah.
something?
Yeah, I was about to say. Seeing all those, especially Dragonstone for me, it really stood out, and it really has me like m- excited to see how the other castle is going to look like. I know we're going to go to the Vale, especially from the preview. I know we're going to go to the Riverlands. It's like, okay, I'm excited because we're getting more of a I feel like a fleshed out version of a lot of these castles than we got in Game of Thrones. You can definitely tell that budget. The higher that budget goes, the more grand these castles and their dwellings around them have gotten.
Yep, yep. It's interesting you bring up the Veil because uh, I I was kind of hoping that we were gonna get the scene where Jace arrives at the Vale and talks to Jane Eyre. Um,
Yeah.
but I don't know now at what point Jane Eyre's scene is gonna come up. But yes, I would have definitely liked to have had seen that. Uh,
Well,
speaking of, yeah.
I'm about to say, well, they made a reference to it. They said she wanted a dragon there, so
Oh
we know we're
yeah,
gonna go back
yeah.
and see it. So I can't wait to let's see what they got. Let's see that high what's it, the door? What's it called again? The moon door.
The Moon Door. Yeah, 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 the Moon Door. Well, I suppose it's gonna be whenever. Shoot. The Dragon Twin Reyna,
Yeah.
because she's been staying over there, right? Because Bela was with Rhaenys in Driftmark, and Reyna has been all this time in the Vale. Was it
No,
not?
she was in Dragonstone.
Right, but before you remember, like from season one, um,
I want to say she
Bela was staying with shoot with Rhaenys in
ratings.
Driftmark. Yeah,
No,
I'm
she was
almost certain.
staying with the in Dragonstone with Damon and Rhaenyra.
Okay. Um, yeah, for some reason I thought she was staying somewhere else and she was sort of like those years of maturing, becoming more of an adult, uh were more spent somewhere else, and I can't
Mm,
remember right now where it was, but I believe that is probably where Reina is gonna find her dragon, even though, yes. So on TikTok, Mr. Mustache says Reina stays at the Vale during the dance. Okay,
mm.
so yeah, I knew it was somewhere around that, and I believe from what I've heard, supposedly that's where she'll find her dragon, which we know already it's a change from the book. And but people, we've been getting changes since season one. So
Yeah,
um,
we'll see. I'm still holding out hope for Nettles deep down.
yes, well, I remember seeing some pictures and all of this girl looking sort of like Nettles. So and whenever they asked Ryan Condal, he was kind of sus about it. It kind of
Hmm.
sounded like they might actually have her like very well hidden. And if that's the case, the internet is going to just blow up. you know.
Yeah, and it could be the longest con, and they're saying she's not going to be in just for them to surprise us because you want some surprises for the fans. So I'm gonna cross my fingers. Whatever happens, I'm gonna enjoy it because I know what they're doing. What's best for the story. But if we get
Yeah.
Nettles, I'm gonna be happy.
Oh, absolutely. Um what was another thing I was gonna another thing that I really enjoyed? Of course, oh, I forgot to say when talking about the world building, they gave us it wasn't a whole bunch, obviously, but I love the fact that when they showed us the Valerian fleet and they were like bringing back Corliss's boat. I loved seeing like the shots that they gave us were really nice because you kind of felt like you were in there with them, like cleaning up the boats and like helping getting things out and in and I don't know. I felt like that was a pretty neat moment. And of course we
Yeah.
also get to meet Alan, who we know is very important down the road.
Yes, yes.
Um
So y'all pay attention to
so
Alan. Y'all pay attention to him.
Yeah. By the way, people, this is a spoiler episode. I forgot to mention that at the beginning. Uh, we've sort of talked about it somewhat already, but this is a spoiler episode. But so yeah, just throwing it out there. um, what was another thing that I absolutely love? Obviously, people, if you're joining right now, I see a few people joining on YouTube. If you have questions, if you want to geek out about this episode, this is a live episode, so it would be great for you guys if you guys have questions and whatnot on TikTok as well. Just drop them in there. Usually, whenever we do the episodes, we are not too like we're not looking at the chat a whole lot, but since this is a live episode, we are definitely looking at it. And any questions that you guys have
Hmm.
or things you want to bring up that are cool, bring them up. Uh, but yeah, what would you say? What would you say were the things that really uh, I don't want to say best performances yet. I want to save that a little bit, but we can sort of start giving out top moments in the episode.
I
Um
was I would say a top moment that was technically a low moment for me was seeing the disarray that the different factions were in. I definitely felt that both sides thought things were going to go different. They had a plan for, all right, if we execute this, we'll be able to especially in the Green Council, they thought, hey, they're going to be able to go to Rhaenyra. She was either going to bend the knee. Half the people wanted her to bend the knee. Half the people wanted to just go out there and eliminate her really quick. And since none of that happened, they're like, all right, what are we going to do now? And the only one that has a plan for the future for what we've seen so far is Aemon. similar plan to Damon. That's how similar they think, but to go control the Riverland. So it was definitely interesting to see like how the dynamics of their council is going to work.
Absolutely. Listen, by the way, now that you bring up Amond, I think how did you feel about the fact that they pretty much skipped ahead and did not show us Amon coming back and telling them what happened? Like we pretty much are just we start figuring out that they know what happened
Yeah.
because they are like Allison mentions it here. I think Otto mentions it somewhere else, and I was like, man, I would have liked to have had seen that moment when Eamon comes back because yeah, it's a huge moment. That actually it's a moment in the book as well that it would also sort of like solidify the stance that the show has taken where it's having the greens more likable than than what we had in the book because in the book at least me and I know you yourself and a lot of our awesome fellow Song of Ice and Fire creators we side with the blacks and it's like super like straightforward when reading the book not so much in the show which is it's a cool thing, it's a cool addition because this way you get to we get to have this discourse of like I am not super on board with this character, for example Aegon, which we can talk about him here soon,
Mm.
Aegon the Magnanimous. I will not get tired of saying that shit. Um, but yes, I don't know. I would have
Yeah.
liked to have had seen that again. I'm cool. It didn't happen. Whatever. But I think it adds to what you were just saying with the houses scrambling and trying to figure out how to go about things.
I I think it was good how they did it, so we could understand that the whole realm knows what happened, for the fact that they put all the way at the wall. They had Creed and Stark and Jace learned that this happened. So once that information reaches the wall, it's like, hey, everyone knows what happened. From Dorne to the wall, Aemon Targaryen slew his what nephew over Storm's End. So
Right.
definitely him walking in. I I hate the fact that everyone just they already had the assumptions of how Eamon's going to act, what's going to happen. They already put in their mind like, oh, he's a he's a he's becoming a cold blooded
Rogue.
killer. Like what something is wrong with him. He's just going rogue. Kind of. We have to taper him in before they even really had a conversation with him.
Right. Yeah. Uh, okay, I understand you, and yes, but I feel like if we were like in their shoes, I feel like I feel like we would think almost close to the same thing. No,
I,
like he just had okay, so like Aemon literally he comes back and he probably was proud of it. It doesn't seem like he was acting all like oh it was an accident. No, he's actually leaned into it. I think.
But I mean,
Um.
the, I don't think there's anything he can do besides lean into it. He can't tell people that he
Oh,
accidentally killed
absolutely.
his
Yeah.
nephew. Nobody's going to believe that. It wouldn't matter if he said that because everyone knows you chased your nephew on a dragon,
The
even if it was an accident.
the
I mean,
biggest dragon in the world.
and that's what and that's the other that's what makes him so scary. Like, do we know how strong he is mentally? I think once we get more scenes with him by himself or not around other people with power, I think we'll get a better understanding of really how strong he is. But everyone's afraid of him and Vagar. From the Greens understanding they have the most powerful weapon, from Damon, who was one of the most reckless characters, even at his old age, realizing I can't go over there and try to fight Vagar by myself. Telling Rainey's with her dragon Melee, say, hey, maybe we can tag team this man and put his dragon on the ground. Everyone understands he's that powerful. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I yeah, that's those are really good points. So would you say? By the way, I wanted to say there's someone on TikTok, Fiker Yeardaw. I saw your comment. We'll get back to it here very soon. Uh, and any other comments if you see any other. But yeah, I saw Fiker Yeardraw dropped a question there. But what was I going to say? So it was something that I really loved. Now that we're talking about Amid, I feel like we can sort of add Aegon in there
Hmm.
because they're like the two figures that are so like polarizing, and we like I feel like the like how do you say the damn it you guys know me. Spanish,
Well,
man. I'm saying the word in Spanish in my head. I'm trying to find the damn word.
describe it to me. What you trying to? What you thinking? What are you thinking about
Magnifying,
Aegon?
like a magnifying glass. Like they're on the scope. You know,
Yeah,
uh, Aemon and Aegon are on the scope all the time, at least for us, because if you support Rhaenyra, obviously we are always looking for a reason to hate on them, and it was really refreshing, interesting as well how they went about Aegon. And man, people weren't lying. Everyone who went to the premieres and whatnot, they kept talking about how incredible Emma was, number one, which we'll get to that here soon, and how absolutely like really good performance by Aegon. Well, Tom Glenn Carney as Aegon,
yeah.
and he really did, man. He owned every damn scene he was in, and I don't know you, but I really liked him, and I actually bought the whole thing of him possibly being a good king down the road. He's not a good person, of course, we know that, but it seemed like he was trying, but there's always this damn high tower right there
Yeah.
to mess things up. And of course, in this case, it's none other than our guy Sneaky Snake, Auto Sneaky Snake Hightower. Um, so I really really enjoyed this portrayal of Aegon. It was really really good. I thought it was.
Yeah, I like that we got to see him try to make an effort to help the small folk. And that's the thing. I think people saw in Game of Thrones saw Joffrey Baratheon, saw Ramsay Snow, and said, "Okay, these are all the way bad, almost cartoonishly villainous characters, especially Ramsay Snow." But you see Aegon, and he does stuff in season one that it's horrible, it's bad what he did. There's nothing you can do to say like, all right, maybe it wasn't that bad. No, bad thing. That doesn't mean he's 100% bad. We're getting that
Uh-huh.
perspective. Like, you could be a horrible person and do a good thing. That doesn't just because I'm mean to you doesn't mean I want to go kick a cane out from under an old person and see him slip in the puddle.
Yep.
And so
Yep.
he'll
Yep.
do something good for someone, and we got to see it finally.
It's interesting because JJ and me talked about this and how people are like, "Oh my God, how are you? Like, why would they make Aegon sympathetic? I think that's the word I'm looking for, and like very charismatic and nice and cool and this and that." It's like, um, do you realize that almost a lot, if not all, of the serial killers out there they act normal. They act
Mhm.
like people that are just sociopaths and stuff. A lot of time they just act normal, and you will never imagine that they did X and Y after they've obviously caught them. So that doesn't really it don't take it that way. Just yes, it's a cool character development in this case, and just also a good way to go about it in their case as writers and producers of this show, giving us this complex feeling of like I really want to hate this guy, I really don't like, I don't want this guy there because he Rhaenyra should be the one, blah blah blah, but I really like them. You know, he's
Yeah.
very sympathetic and like he's treating his kid the way that Viserys did not treat him. That's another thing, you know. Viserys did
Mm.
not treat him the way it seems like he's treating Jaehaerys or was treating Jaehaerys. Uh,
What? But then you got to think about how when he went to his daughter and when he was looking for his son and he pulled away because, oh, you're the girl, you're not the boy. I don't need to spend time with you. Let me go
true,
find my son. So
true.
he does something that's kind of good. You got to remember that.
And that's where it all circles back to the fact that in the end he's not a good person, you know. He's someone that's very like damaged, you know. um
Hmm.
so Yirdaw says, I have a question. If y'all remember, Damon was with a dragon we haven't seen before episode 10.
I think
That
that
was
was a
Vermithor.
yeah, Vermithor, the King Jaehaerys steed. Do you call a dragon a steed? Well, I did. King Jaehaerys' dragon steed, the winged steed.
Yes. Yep, yep, yep. Uh, we should be we should be well, actually it's in the trailer now that I think about it.
But
Vermithor is in the trailer.
yeah, yeah, he is. And hey, it could be more people riding dragons, so be on the lookout for that.
Uh-huh. Which by the way, did you see Hugh? I was not expecting to see Hugh Hammer. I was
Not
like,
that
listen,
early.
I'm about to fight you, man.
let hey, he's looking out for his folks right now. So I'm team blacksmith right now.
Yep, yep, yep. It's interesting because they're already sort of, if you really think about it, that's an interesting moment that they will definitely go back to it later on. Those
Hmm.
of you who have read Fire and Blood, you know, uh, the Tumbleton, Battle of Tumbleton. You know, you know. I think
I will
that
say
they're
this.
going to use that moment.
Yeah, I will say Hugh is one of my favorite characters from Fire and Blood. I greatly enjoyed, and I can't wait to see how he's portrayed in what's coming up this season.
Really, you like Hugh?
I like Hugh. I like these characters. Just because you do just because you may act one way or another doesn't mean you're not enjoyable character to read. It's
Oh no,
in,
no, no, yeah, 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 yeah. They're yeah. I mean, uh, yeah.
I think Hugh got a bad
Hugh.
rap because when I really look at it, that's story for another time. But I think Hugh's for the people. Hugh's for the people. And
Well,
I think we're going to see that in what's coming up for his character journey.
and Off White as well.
I was following Hugh. He was a follower. He followed the power. Is a character we will be introduced to. So Hugh for the people and off with Hugh. So he's technically for the people in that essence.
But yeah. What was another thing that shoot, I forgot we were talking about here a few minutes ago. But
We were talking about Aegon, but
yeah,
I mean we can talk about other people from his court or any other standouts you had from the Greens or the Blacks.
man, my standout from the Greens was definitely Aegon. That's without a question. And Team Black, actually, it's I loved obviously the Emma's performance. I feel like they just they went, man, they brought it up a notch for real.
Hmm.
And I really like that, but I also have to give credit. I feel like almost all of Team Black, like Jaceres, which is funny because someone on my comment, I made a video and on the comment section said something like, "So Jaceres came back after episode 10 of season 1, looking like 10 years older."
War
But
changes you.
honestly, well, number one and number two, like they finally got rid of that hideous wig, you know. So now
Yeah.
he gets to use his own hair and all of that, a little bit more Jon Snowish. like
Put
his
that Jon
boy
Snow
Jon
product in
Snow.
that hair.
Yep. And but yeah, I thought Jace actually did a. I loved watching Jace. I feel like did such a Harry Collett. I think it's the name. I think it's his name.
Yeah,
Did such an incredible job. In general, I gotta say this. Like in general, the whole cast, everyone. I feel like they look so much more comfortable. Did you get that? I felt like everyone looks so much more comfortable within their role and their character. I don't
yeah.
know if
I
you
think
got that really.
Yeah, I think it was definitely, especially for the characters. I think last season some characters may have had an advantage just depending on when they filmed to really like how long they got to play their characters. And some of them, they only played the character for like two episodes, and the world just looked better. Also, I think the costuming, the wigs, the hair, everything seemed more realistic, lived in yet still fantasy world. Like I think they did a great job in that.
Yep. Well, and actually, Jenny K here on YouTube, and that this is a good thing, people. Whoever wants to join on YouTube, your comments get highlighted. I wish I could do this with TikTok, um, so you can go like live on both. But anyways, Jenny K here says Jaceres brought his personal hairdresser to the north.
Well, he put the moose in the bag. He had the pomade. He was ready to go. He said, "I gotta look good for Cregan." He got that thing right.
Yep. Yeah, he was looking. Yeah, he was looking good. He was looking good. Um, Again, I wish we would have spent more time in the north, but it is what
Yeah,
it is. Um, but yeah, I just felt everyone did such an incredible job. Um, the again, I feel like everyone just feels way more like in tune with their characters, and it's almost like it's like any other job. Your
yeah,
first year at the job, first few months, it's like trying to get through it and like figure out like your comfort zone and this and that, and then by year three, you're already like, hey man, you don't want to do this to the new people. So but no, yeah, it was. I feel like they were looking really, really good, and they all did an incredible job. I do feel yes, Emma Darcy and Tom Glenn Carney were like the standouts of the performances. Which one would
yeah.
you say?
Well, between those two, or just overall.
You can do an overall, but because I threw like Jace in there and whatnot.
Yeah,
But of
I
course, yeah, you can.
I'll probably say some of my standouts for this episode. Definitely, was it Tom Glenn, Aegon in this episode. Uh, I enjoyed Allison becoming more of an active role in what's happening. I think she did a great job in that portrayal. I would say Aemon Targaryen and Cregan Stark. He was in one scene. It was short. I don't know when I'm gonna see him again. But my man started doing that monologue, and for a split second, I was like, "Jon Snow, you Jon?"
Listen, we got Lord Paramount of the Southeast in the TikTok chat, and I know he's probably said already something against Jon Snow and you.
my my mortal enemy against Jon Snow. Oh, I see you.
But yeah, you're right. I think Cregan. I think his name is Tom Taylor. If
Mm,
anyone can correct me in the chat, drop it in there. But I feel like he owned really like the Stark. He gave man. I bought the whole Stark vibe for real.
mm.
It was very well sold. Um,
Hopefully, they change that
mostly,
tradition about the sending 1/10 of their men to the wall every winter. I'm like, maybe you shouldn't send that many, just in case. That's a lot of people. But yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed it.
it's Tom Taylor. Okay, cool. Wait, yeah, they said in the TikTok chat it is Tom Taylor. Awesome.
Okay.
Interesting. Now that we're talking about the before I forget this, actually, um, it was very interesting, and I love the fact that Cregan was dropping lore. He was dropping a lot of lore on Jace. I don't know if you caught that. and he even brought up the time that Jaharis and Alisand went up to the wall to the north, which actually I can't remember if Jaharis actually went all the way to the wall. I know
No,
Alisand did. I know Alisand did because every time she tried to go past with Silverwing, um, Silverwing would just turn back, and he
yeah,
does mention that, but he says that it's both of them, like Jaharis and uh Alisand.
Alice.
And you know what's interesting about that? I'm sorry, you were gonna say?
I was just gonna say maybe he mentioned both of them because he didn't read his history book. Everybody didn't read their history book.
True, true, true. That is true. That would have been me. I know history, but I wish I knew more than what I know.
Like when
Um,
Abraham Lincoln won the World War II.
um, what I was gonna say? Oh, so something very interesting that Cregan, whenever he's mentioning the whole thing about the dragons, as in Silverwing and Vermithor, just turning around whenever they got past the wall, they would not go further. Um, doesn't it? At least for me, it did feel this way, but it felt sort of like a retcon for Game of Thrones, because obviously in Game of Thrones, what was the first thing that happened whenever Danny was up there? She
She
just
went
went
right past.
straight past the wall.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Maybe that was a subtle dig, and they said, "Yeah, dragons can't pass the wall." And then he would have looked at the camera.
yes, yes, I'm telling you, dude. I don't know. I've been a little bit. I like the whole thing about the prophecy. I hope that since they brought it up, at least just stick the landing with that, and like give us the real message that you just want to put out, with the whole um prophecy of ice and fire.
Mm,
So I don't know, maybe I'm reaching, and whatever. That's the cool thing about this universe and A Song of Ice and Fire, and the Game of Thrones universe. We just get to theorize about these awesome things and geek about it.
yeah.
um,
Because I definitely think the prophecy is going to be one of those things that's going to be shelved a little bit because of all this war and craziness. People can't worry about the enemy from the north when you got all the enemies around you in the south.
yeah, true, true. Which it's what I want ultimately, because
Mm,
in the end, the war, the Dance of the Dragons is the main uh thing in the story. So I'm okay with that. Um before we sort of go, we're getting close here. We're at, well, it says 41, but really maybe like 40. Um I was gonna say maybe we can finish with the top 3 moments. I mean, if
yeah.
you're good, I know you have other things. We both have things. Unless you, obviously, if you have something else you want to add, just drop it in there. And people on TikTok as well, like, and YouTube. Jenny K, if you're still lurking around, um, right now you are championing our YouTube chat.
Thank you, Jenny.
Yeah.
But I would say some of my top moments from the episode. Now that I'm going thinking about them, uh, seeing Hoodie Damon again. I love seeing Hoodie Damon. Is he going to do something reckless? Is he going to do something that can jeopardize everything? Yes. But gosh darn it, if it's not a good time seeing him. Uh,
Yep.
and top moment, seeing, and it's not a good thing, but seeing how
No,
Helena
of course.
responded to the trauma of having to make that decision, because everyone responds to trauma differently. And I know some people are complaining about it, but you never know what you're going to do when a situation like that arises before you. Whatever, unless you're somebody who planned for every situation perfectly, when craziness happens. You don't know what the body will do. Um,
Hmm.
and, pro- and probably one more moment for me that I enjoyed uh, was seeing the bond that Kristen Cole and Allison shared. It was a bond like no other. I definitely think they became one, and gosh darn it, they were having a time.
Yeah, they really were having a time. And I can't wait to see. Which again, um, so far, Kristen Cole, of course, he has not had any, how do you say, repercussions to his actions.
Hmm.
Um, and him being away from his post while all of this was going on, blood and cheese. I know nothing's really gonna happen to him, but I would wish that at least someone would acknowledge it. Be like, "What the hell were you doing? Why weren't you on your post?" At least just get mad at him. You
Yeah,
know.
where were the guards? Well, what was going on? This is the heirs
Hmm.
right here. We got to protect everyone. Like Aegon had 30 people with him. You're telling me that the king's wife and both his children were just unprotected, no guards anywhere?
Hmm. Hmm. It's also very like it's let me see how to what was I gonna say? Damn it. I lost my thought. Anyways, Alicent. Larry Strong. It's gonna be interesting to see if he will have anything to do with telling Aegon what has been going on uh between Alicent and Kristen Cole, because he has that now. He was very specific
Hmm.
when he mentioned the fact that he has his whole, pretty much his web of spies surrounding, uh
Allison.
everyone, because
Yep.
he got rid, yeah, he got rid of the ones that Otto had. uh so yeah, I don't know, that'll be pretty interesting.
Oh yeah.
uh but again, probably Crispy Cole won't, they won't do anything to it.
Well, maybe
um
something's gonna happen. He gonna get that haircut. I don't know how he get it, but
yeah, he sure is. um in my case, my top three moments, I would say, obviously, even though it's incredibly sad, you have to add blood and cheese.
hmm
It's a very impactful. It's a very impactful moment. It's a very crucial moment in the story as well. A
yeah.
moment that also just changes the course of like everyone, even people in Team Black, because we see already that Rhaenyra is not happy about this. She did not want this, and I'm so happy that they are going with this approach. Um, at least based on what they showed on the trailer for episode 2. Um, I'm happy that they are not just, saying that. Well, obviously, people in the Greens are gonna put it out there to the small folk and whatnot
Oh
that
yeah.
Rhaenyra was the one that
Ren,
ordered this.
and to them, Rhaenyra and Damon did it. I mean, and they can't. It. Damon definitely did it, and he acts under Rhaenyra.
Yeah,
Rhaenyra called
yeah,
for the head of a son.
yeah. Well, she said Aemon Targaryen. She was very. That's the thing. She was very specific about who she wants.
A for
Uh,
effort.
and yeah, I don't know. I think blood and cheese, and I want to say this as well, because you, as a content creator, I know you've uh, probably in your comments you've already gotten a few weird people out there. Um, it's crazy the reaction of some people to what happened in the blood and cheese moment. Um, yes, it's different, to a certain point. Is different than what we
Mm,
got in the book. But here's the thing: ultimately, what we got in the show in last night's episode, you ultimately get the same thing. You get to the same point. We are gonna get a traumatized Helena, and
hmm
actually traumatized Allison as well, because even though she wasn't there, like it happened in the book, she was off with Kristen Cole. You know how bad she's gonna feel about this, knowing that she was out there whenever all of this was happening. She was out there screwing Kristen Cole. Uh,
Probably the reason there weren't any guards around.
exactly, exactly.
Mm,
So, man, I don't know. I've had some very weird comments that I've ended up blocking people and all because it's just like, what are you even thinking about? Like,
yeah,
we like they were so descriptive with the sounds, and if you're anyone's like me, when you have your closed captioning and all of that, you know what the description said, and you could hear the squelching, and man, it was
yeah.
just horrible. Like, why would you
Hmm.
want to see a what is it, like a 6-year-old beheaded,
Mm,
and just I don't know. I feel like the way we got it in the show ultimately gave us, it's going to give us the same results, and it was still horrible.
yeah,
um I've talked to quite a few people that have never read the books, and they were like, this freaking traumatized me, this is insane. So just imagine, like, if they would have done the book. Like, I don't know, I feel like you can't even show uh like what is described in the book. I feel like you probably can't even show that
yeah.
in some countries, in some countries.
Yeah, they'll definitely have to block some of that off. You definitely couldn't show all of blood and
I don't
cheese.
know. Were you happy with the blood? Obviously, we're not happy about it, but like the way they went about it, I don't think we've talked about it.
Yeah, I mean, my only disappointment was the conversation between Cheese and Helena and uh, how how different it was in the books for the setup. That was my only complaint about that.
Okay.
I thought it was done better in the better in the books for that conversation, but overall, like you said,
Okay.
it got the same point across.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Um. Yeah. You're talking about the whole. She says something to Helena, like, or no, to Maylor. But again, Maylor is not. It's not in there either. Like
Yeah,
you.
Mabel's not an established character or anything, so I'm not even sure if he's going to show up. But that's what makes it hard. They eliminated that element for what was supposed to be the choice between their two sons. So and
Right.
maybe there's a way they could have done it, but at the end of the day,
Yeah.
it still got the point across. I think it could have been better, but it was effective for what they were trying to do.
Yeah, it's like Jenny says, your mind can fill in the blanks when it comes to visualizing what they're doing. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Again, it gets the point across. But yeah, I know what you're that conversation they have with Helena. By the way, Pia Saban, I think it's her name, or Fia.
yeah,
She did. I thought she did incredible. uh, I thought she did
yeah.
incredible. But yeah. The other thing, let me see. Man, that just kind of blew me out. The whole blood and cheese. What a way to start. I should have left that for number one.
Uh,
uh, nah, man, just top three moments. Oh, uh, Jaceres in the north. That was
mm,
obviously the whole thing up in the north, and we've talked about it quite a bit here on the episode with Cregan. Even though it wasn't super long, I thought it was, man, it was perfect. It was just perfect. And then another very powerful moment, or moment that I really really enjoyed. Um, was actually seeing the all the emotions between Rhaenyra and Jace, and even Joffrey, the little Joffrey. Like, that little kid was acting out, being so young as
mm,
well. I think the emotions that Jace showed when he went over to Mama Ray, uh that was sad, man. It almost had me in tears, for real.
yeah.
Even though I've been more of a here. The older I get, the more I cry. Damn it. um, but yeah, I feel like that was another, like, powerful like moment that I really, not that I enjoyed, but it was a powerful moment.
Oh yeah.
uh, for sure. Um, but yeah, anything else? If I don't know, we're pretty much almost done uh, with the episode. If anyone has any question, uh, here in the last, I don't know, 2 minutes, uh, just drop them in there, and we'll try to answer, or just geek out about uh, whatever you guys put in there. Let me see. I think someone said other sword. Yes, it did traumatize me as well. Uh, Especially since you could hear the noise of blood and cheese cutting. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like
Hmm.
it was still it was bad, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's
Lucero's
a bad thing that happened. Nobody wants that to happen, but it's just tell them the fantasy story.
yeah, yeah. Oh, of course. Lucero's deserves justice. Hell yeah. Uh, yeah. I don't know. Well, uh, before we go, are we ready for episode two?
Hey, I'm already waiting for episode 2. So as soon as it comes out, I'll make sure to do a recap for the people and be back on here talking with my man Ruben on Benching Dragons, the podcast.
That's right, man. My Max app is already open, and the episode doesn't come out until Sunday. So,
Gosh darn.
but no, yeah, it was really awesome to have you around, Mark. You know that every time you want to be here, this is I've told you already plenty of times. You just let me know, and we'll figure it out. You're like the my guest co-host here.
Hey, I
um,
like it.
and people expect other like awesome creators joining as well.
Mhm.
Um, Kelly, Game of Thrones historian, listen now. I know you're around there. We've talked quite a bit, so you guys can expect her to be around here quite a bit as well. Um, and yeah, just other awesome people. Uh, Thank you all. Thank you for everyone on TikTok. Thank you, Jenny K, for single-handedly just carry the torch in the YouTube chat. You will forever be remembered, and we hope to see you around for these live episodes. Maybe if we can set them up with a little bit more of time. Like things were kind of crazy yesterday with the episode dropping and whatnot. So
Mm.
maybe if we plan this a little bit better. But again, this was the first live episode uh, that Binging Dragons has done. So expect
Yeah.
them to be better. Thank you all for joining again. You guys were freaking awesome. Mark, do you have anything else before we go?
No, just hey, thank everybody for being here, and hey, we'll get more hot D coming soon.
That's right, people. Drop in the comments whatever you expectations are for episode two, how you liked episode one, and don't forget to follow us on social media and
Yes.
subscribe to the channel here, Binging Dragons. Uh, House of Nettles with my boy Mark, and CrossRodz. Also, I have my channel CrossRodz, so you can go out there and check us out. Also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts for audio only. Man, quite a bit. I'll see you all around. Mark, thank you so much, and I will see you all in the next one. Para more goodness, people.